Akhil Khanna. A pleasure to have you with us. We have our DLC members,
Thank
and we would love to hear from you your forum experience. What you were thinking of forum is 18 years back before you joined, and today when you've been matured enough in an 18-year forum, I just want our DLC members to get an experience sharing.
Well, I heard a little bit when we got started and we were talking about retreats and retreats being fun, etc. For me, forum has been a journey. I am now in my forum for the last 20 years, and we've actually grown together. And as entrepreneurs, you don't get people to talk about your emotions. You don't get people to talk about what you're feeling. In businesses, we have all kinds of support where we have a whole battery of people who can tell us what to do with accounts, what to do with finance, how to structure deals. But when you have emotional problems and you cannot talk to people, this is one area where you are safe, you feel secure, and you can talk. And for us, 20 years ago, it was all about, where we can party. And we've gone as a forum, I think, around the world. And now we just like to sit and talk, and sometimes we go to exotic places in the world and we just land up just having long chats about life and family and growth and sometimes very esoteric discussions while we're probably waiting to go to the best nightclub in town. So it's been a process, and it's been great learning and sharing. And the best part is that you're not judged for what you're saying. You're not judged for the idea you have, or you're not judged for the feeling. And the surprising part is that many people feel the same way that you feel at many stages of life. So when I joined my forum, my kids were like 3 and 6. My kids are now 26 and 23. And the businesses have grown, many multiple folds. So we are able to discuss things which were more in business, I would say, 20 years ago, and it's more family related now. And we've gone from a process where we were talking in terms of growth and business, and now we're talking about legacy and how to take care of the estate. So that's the journey for me with the forum.
Lovely. Akhil, what would you tell a young entrepreneur or an established entrepreneur? We have combination of both sitting here. First generation, third generation. Well, just like EO, YPO, we have similar way entrepreneurs into various areas and forte who say they do not have time for a forum. The truth is, people who are the busiest take value out of the forum and actually join a second forum and a third forum because the value they derive from the forum is so great. How would you tell them, and how would you explain it to them?
Well, to be honest, I only belong to one forum, while several of my forum mates are in different forums. They have maybe 2, some of them have 3 forums. I find it difficult to go and pour my guts out to 3 different forums in a month, and it takes me time to do this. So a lot of people do it for networking. A lot of people do it for just increasing their social connection. I have basically done forum for somebody that it's a safe, secure place to discuss what you have. So I'm part of the EO forum. A lot of my EO members are part of the YPO now, and they have to be mandated part of YPO forum. But we stick together for some reason, and we have a glue, and we're 20 years together. And in 20 years, we are one of the few forums that have had just 2 forum members leave and come in 20 years into our group. And this year we were thinking of adding some more members, and it was unanimously decided that we don't want to increase because we might just not feel very safe sharing with more people. So we may not be the model, but this is what has worked for us for 20 years.
Amazing. So how many of you are there in the forum, Akhil?
We are 8 at the moment.
Lovely.
And we had a 9th one who was with us for the last 2 years. He was from Costa Rica. A similar age profile because we've become elder now. We've like the granddaddies of EO Bangalore. So we have a problem, and we're looking at a 25-year-old. In fact, we were discussing maybe we should get somebody with our 50s plus, maybe somebody who's in their 20s. But for now, as a moderator, I presented it, but the forum wasn't feeling very comfortable with it. So every forum has its own thing, and every forum grows, and we've grown together. Actually, we've matured and grown together.
Amazing. So Akhil, what's the biggest takeaway intellectually from this 18-year journey?
It's you see, I'm a Bombay boy. I grew up in Bombay, and then I left Bombay to come to Bangalore. I needed friends. I needed community. So amongst a group, in fact, I was amongst the founding few. I would say the next layer. I was not the one who actually started EO Bangalore, but we were just trying to create a network of guys who were entrepreneurs when we got started. In Bangalore, we were about 6 or 8 of us when we got started, and today I think Bangalore EO chapter has about 130 odd members, and we just shared and we just learned together. We created an organization which more people wanted to join, and today it's difficult to get into the EO. At that time, we used to literally have to, convince people to get into our organization. So we've probably provided value because we've had very few members leave the EO over the last 20 years. I would say in 20 years, EO Bangalore, maybe not more than 20 members. Churn has been totally, 20 have left, while we are at 125.
Lovely. Akhil, could you elaborate to our members as to the advantages business-wise that you had because of a community and a forum that you've been part of?
The sharing in the EO forum is basically you divide in 3, where you talk in terms of your professional life, you talk in terms of your family, and you talk in terms of your personal life. And then, as you must have already gone through the training, you put in areas of the parking lot, and you go into deep dives. When we started, we used to be talking about, business and how do we fund things, how do we make things happen. Now, as I said, we are more into what our kids are going to do and how we're going to position ourselves and how we're going to position our estate. So it's always what's on the top of your mind. I think strategically on the business, in my forum itself, I know that when anybody needed anybody or needed help, the connections were given immediately. That was, without question. Any member that needed some help was there to support the other member that needed help. However, said that, I think it's the emotional support that we give each other has been more valuable than any business or business connect that we have given to each other, in our forum at least.
Thanks, Akhil, for being here and sharing with all of us. If any of our members have anything to ask Akhil about his 18-year journey in a forum, please go ahead.
Thank you, Akhil, for sharing your experiences. One of the things you said is you may not feel judged for what you say, but one of the important things about networking and clubs is you're quite often judged for your net worth. Yeah. So would I be right in assuming that there are many forums and there is a kind of an unwritten rule that the members are of a similar profile when it comes to their net worth?
A very good question. I'll just tell you my journey because I can always share, and that's what we do when we are in forum. You can talk from your experiences and you don't talk from people's standpoint or positions. So when I got into my forum, we were just 9 guys put together by and we were randomly picked. We had no choice as to who was going to be there. Of course, we were given each other's names, and we said if there was any conflict of interest, is because in forums, it's very important that, for example, if there are 2 builders, they don't get into the same forum, or somebody in the same industry, because that can create conflict of interest, and that would take it away from sharing. And because then you don't feel very safe to share if there's another person in the same business. So in my forum, we have somebody who's a miner. We have somebody who is in poultry business. I have several verticals. There's somebody in packaging. There's somebody in sheet metal fabrication. There's somebody in construction. And there's somebody in dye stuff. And so we are all in different businesses. we all run our own businesses, and we all have very varying net worths. I mean, it would be from maybe few thousand crores to few hundred crores, but we've never ever felt that there's a difference, because we've always been very mindful of what we should be spending on our retreats and where we go, and we accommodate each other. So if somebody is feeling if somebody is a stickler to the budget, the guy who probably can spend that in the evening would never push himself on the other people. So that's why maybe we've lasted 20 years in the forum, because money has never been the issue.
Thank you, Akhil. Akhil, thank you for doing this at quick notice for us and sharing your forum experience. I'm sure some of our members and most of our members are going to benefit from the experience that you shared before they take the plunge in the world of DLC forums. Can we have a round of applause for Akhil? Thank you.
Thank you.